I'm live. Well, hello, my lovely little Jacquelines, and welcome back to another amazing live stream. So, so today we are back with the evolution of music, part 2. So, very, very exciting. I already have the evolution of music video pulled up on my laptop right now. So, once again, this is just going to be just like last night. I know it ran at over an hour and 30 minutes because I did a bit more talking. I'm going to try to keep this one a bit more compressed than last night because I know last night's ran a little long. That was just because I talked a bit more. And this one I will still talk some, especially during the pirate stuff, because I really want to emphasize on that era because it's one of my favorite eras. But I definitely definitely will not talk as much so we can just listen to the music pretty fluidly. So today we are going into 3 major periods of music. So which is the Baroque period, which is the early 1600s. Then the Age of Sail, which is the 16 and early 1700s, and then the 1700s, which is the classical period. So basically, like the Baroque period is a lot of like lute artists, the and like harpsichord and stuff. Obviously, we all know pirate music like sea shanties, accordions, that kind of stuff, like rough and tumble music. And then classical music, like obviously with Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, that kind of stuff. But Beethoven isn't until the 1800s, so that's part 3, because part 2 is 1513 to 1783, because that's the next hour length of the thing. And then, of course, we will basically be doing part 3. I'm debating right now if I should do part 3 tomorrow night and then part 4 Tuesday, just to keep it in a segment, and like because I'm really enjoying doing these for the evolution of music. And then after that, we just keep doing Saturday. And this, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow we'll have a live stream for part 3 on Monday, and then Tuesday will be the last part of evolution of music part 4. And then we won't do another live stream until Saturday, which will be Celtic and classical music. And then we'll just keep doing every Saturday, just one live stream a week. But just because the evolution of music is a project I worked on, it's very special to me, and it took a lot of hard work. I want to kind of give it like a special little segment. So yes, tomorrow definitely we'll be doing part 3. So without further ado, let's jump into this, guys. So, I see one person has joined. Oh, 2 people have joined. 2 people have joined. Does the chat work? I make sure the chat works. Okay, yes. Glorious. 2 people. Who's the second person? I got some hot chocolate right here because of the holiday. Tis the season. Oh, voila. Oh, hello, Ashley Jones. Which is, of course, my lovely girlfriend. So let's get to this, guys. So we're starting with 1513. Again, it will be the same like last night. I will read the titles. If there's certain facts I want to read, I'll pause the song and read them to you and then unpause it. Okay, let's get into it. So this is Galadera El Tutu. The artist is anonymous. So this is 1513, so 16th century. So this is Wasn't that beautiful? What is next? This is Horchilchi El Terra, Claudio Monteverdi, 1517, in Latin. There.
Chi mi sfaccia sempre dinanzi del mio dolce figlio, sempre, sempre dinanzi, sempre dinanzi per mio dolce figlio, chi mi sfaccia sempre dinanzi.
This is Galti Giacchio, 1581, Pia Contagious. I think it's Italian. Can you hear me good, by the way, reading the titles? Cool. Ildian Jarundium Himakihi Masculian, 1616, by Waba Sukal. I can't even say that. I legit can't say that. That's like in a different language. I'm gonna attempt to say this. Sumankilian linen. That's literally what it looks like. So this is from 1616. So we're in the 17th century now. That's really pretty.
Et in piedi su Jacobion mit Karman, si capim songs they lost out to Satan. Leroy Campbell with Christus Heimann, Leroy Sides and Campbell's Satan Sie haben Pose, alles hat Mata, an einer gewissen Stelle, ist weiter. Die Leute haben mit Christus Heimann, Leroy Sides and Campbell's Satan
Can you hear it fine? Is it too loud or is it good? Perfect. Okay. This is Jamiko by John Playford, 1655. John Playford was an English composer who created country dances called the jamiko, where you swing your arms around each other and kick your legs out in little circles. March pour la cérémonie d'Osturis Jean-Baptiste Lully, which is French, 1670. Jean-Baptiste Lully was born in Florence on November 28th of 1632. He died in Paris March 22nd, 1687. He was an Italian composer, violinist, and dancer who spent most of his life working in the court for Louis XIV of France. He took on French nationality in 1661. He was the most important French composer of his time. Dermakin Hussein Sakali Agirizi, Moroccan Music, Africa from 1673. Rondo, Henry Purcell, 1676. Baroque, Vilio, and Cello. Waltz Ballroom Dance Music, 1677, England. A fun fact about waltzing was the waltz was considered vulgar and damaging for most of its history given the close connection of bodies. A document from the late 1700s reads, waltzing is a main source of weakness of the body and mind of our generation. This sort of view only lasted for about 300 years or so. Pirate music, 1678, the Young Buccaneer. So now we're done with the Baroque period. We're going into the Age of Sail and Pirate era. The English word pirate is derived from the Latin term perita, which means sailor or sea robber, and from the Greek word perites, which literally means one who attacks ships. Pirates would often prowl narrow sea channels that funneled shipping into predictable routes. Examples included the waters of Gibraltar, the Strait of Malacca, Madagascar, the Gulf of Aden, and the English Channel. Pirate galleys were small, nimble, lightly armed, but heavily manned in order to overwhelm the often minimal crews of merchant ships. Because of their agility, pirate crafts were generally very difficult to hunt down. As they say, it's not the size of the ship, but the motion of the tiny craft filled with bloodthirsty seamen. The truth about pirates being obsessed with rum is actually true. Not only did it get them drunk faster and they loved the taste of red, gold, or black rum, it was easily imported and cheap to buy with the few shillings they had. So before we continue into the age of sail and piracy, it is one of my favorite eras in history, other than the classical and Baroque periods. I do like the Byzantine era, like in part one, but I think the Age of Sail has to be like my top one because it's just the music is so lively and like joyful and stuff. It's just like there's always like that heart, like that adventure in the song. Like we're going to unknown lands and going on adventures and with all these kinds of people and going to see different countries and meeting all kinds of cultures and stuff. I just think it's a very spectacular time in human history because it's a lot of really pirates were around the late 1600s to early 1700s is kind of like I would say 1660s to about 1730s was like the pretty much the pinnacle of piracy. After Blackbeard was killed in 1724, it kind of went downhill after that. Because then like the world started to get honestly like more civilized. But it is just a time in history I think that was really rich with adventure and like because a lot of the world back then people didn't know a lot about the world back then. Like there was so much other lands that were just unexplored, especially the Americas at that time and the colonies. Until I think just that pure adventure and like seeking out your own fortune is just really what interests me in this era. And also because of I just like stories in that time period and stuff and the music. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So I will be reading all the facts in the pirate era. So I will pause it a decent amount, just to let you know. Pirate Battle Music, 1678. The weapons pirates preferred to use were long cutlasses, musket rifles, harpoons, small daggers, falconets, murderers, clubs, and hooks to attack when boarding ships with their grapnels. Once the mast falls, that signals it's time to board.
Oh, we'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all
Roll the Old Chariot, Sea Shanty, 1680s.
right if the wind was in our sails, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the Horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the Horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the Horn, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll it on.
Sea shanties such as this one you were listening to at the moment are just one of the many songs sailors, pirates, and seafarers sang while sailing the channels to pass the time. Most songs were about sailing back home, missing home, rum, drink, women, and fighting.
Chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind.
The smartest clipper you can find is Ho-way, ho, are you most done? She's the Margaret Evans on a Blue Star line. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me.
Eliza Lee, Sea Shanty, 1683.
A rig-a-jig and a jaunting gun. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? With Liza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. Oh, we're outward bound for the West Green Pier. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? With Galway Shale and Liverpool beer. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig-a-jig and a jaunting gun. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? With Liza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. And when we're over in New York town, ho-way, ho, are you most done? We'll dance them Bowery girls around. Clear away the track and let the bull giant.
This particular song is about a woman named Eliza Lee wishing she was there to drink and dance with them.
To me, hey, rig-a-jig and a jaunting gun. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? With Liza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. On the Margaret Evans on the Blue Star line. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? She's never a day behind her time. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig-a-jig and a jaunting gun. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? With Liza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. Ah, when we're back in Liverpool town. Ho-way, ho, are you most done? I'll stand just whiskies all around. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, from France we get the brandy.
Jolly Rouge, 1684, Sea Shanty.
Martinique the rum.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
From Italy does come, but the fairest of them all, me boys, the one to beat the day, is made from apples of the mighty Saguenay. So follow me, lads, 'cause this ain't no grog or ale. 1 pint down, you'll be swinging in the gale. 5 pints, buddy, you'll be shaking in your shoes. We're half seas over on the Jolly Rouge. She's called the Dreadnought Cider. She's proper and she's fine. And when the day is over, sure I wish that she were mine. Or in the dark of winter, or on.
This shanty talks about the import of various drinks, mainly wine and rum, that pirates would get from France and England.
Summer's Eve. Oh, one hand giveth and the other doth receive. So follow me, lads, 'cause this ain't no grog or ale. 1 pint down, you'll be swinging in the gale. 5 pints, bully, you'll be shaking in your shoes. We're half seas over on the Shawnee Brew. So turn your sails over and bring her hard to port. Find that little star and fly straight into the north. The wild sun upon your back, the wind a blowing free.
What you are hearing in the background is the accordion, one of the most popular sea instruments for pirates to play from.
You're rolling up the river, boys, to old Shikootami. So follow me, lads, 'cause this ain't no grog or ale. 1 pint down, you'll be swinging in the gale. 5 pints, buddy, you'll be shaking in your shoes. We're half seas over on the Shawnee Brew. So you can have a Magners and pour it over ice, or you can have a strongbow with its sadness that you like, or join us up the river and we'll set your hearts aglow. And how you'll feel when the real cider starts to flow. So follow me, lad. The sergeant came away from an inn near town at the close of day. He said, "My Johnny, you're a fine young man. Would you like to march along behind a military band with a scarlet coat and a fine cocked hat and a musket at your shoulder?" The shilling he took and he...
The Cruel Wars, 1685, South Caribbean.
It's the book, oh poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? The recruiting sergeant marched away from the inn near town at the break of day. Johnny came to with half a ring. He was off to be a soldier to go fighting for the king in a far-off war in a far-off land to face the foreign soldier. But how will you fare when there's...
The song tells the story of a young musketeer named Johnny who went to fight in the West Indies in the 1650s and survived losing an arm and leg.
In the air, oh poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? Well, the sun rose high on a barren land where the thin red line made a military stand. There was slingshot, chain shot, grape shot too, swords and bayonets thrusting through. Poor Johnny fell, but the day was won, and the king is grateful to ya. But your soldier is done, and they're sending you home. Oh, poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? They said he was a hero and not to grieve, for the 2 ruined legs and the empty sleeve took him home, and they set him down with a military pension and a medal from the crown. But you haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, the enemy nearly slew ya. You'll have to go out in the streets and beg, oh poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya?
Whoop Jamboree, 1686, sea shanty.
Oh, the pilot, he looks out ahead with his hands on the cane, heaving on the lead, and the old man roars to wake the dead. "I come and get your oats, my son." Hop, jamboree, oh, you long-tailed black mare coming up behind. Hop, jamboree, I come and get your oats, my son. And now we pass them lizard lights. At the start, me boys, we will heave in sight. And soon we're abreast of the Isle of Wight. I come and get your oats, my son. Whoop, jamboree, oh, you long-tailed black mare coming up behind. Whoop, jamboree, I come and get your oats, my son. And now we get to the black wall top, and the pretty young girls coming down in flocks with their short-legged drawers and long-tailed frocks. I come and get your oats, my son. Whoop, jamboree, oh, you long-tailed black mare coming up behind. Whoop, jamboree, I come and get your oats, my son. And now the bar ship is in sight. We are picking on down to the old Rock Light. Gonna get the old stick takes tonight. But come and get your oats, my son. Whoop, jamboree,
Christmas at Sea, 1688.
The sheets were frozen hard and they cut the naked hand. The decks were like a slide where a seaman scarce could stand. The wind was a nor'wester blowing squally off the sea, and the cliffs and spouting breakers were the only things a lee.
They heard the surf roaring before the break of day, but 'twas only with the peep of light we saw how well we lay. We tumbled every hand on deck and stamped her with a shout, and we gave her the main topsail and stood by to go about.
All day we tacked and tacked between the south head and the north. All day we hauled the frozen sheets and got no further forth.
All day as cold as charity in bitter pain and dread. For very life and nature we tacked from head to head.
We gave the south a wider berth, for there the tide race roared. But every tack we made, we brought the north head close aboard.
We saw the cliff and houses and the breakers running high, and the coast guard in his garden with his glass against his eye.
The frost was on the village roofs as white as ocean foam. The gilded fires were burning bright in every longshore home. The windows sparkled clear and the chimneys volleyed out, and I vow we sniffed the victuals as the vessel went about.
The bells upon the church were rung with a mighty jovial cheer.
For it's just that I should tell you how of all days in the year,
This day of our adversity was blessed Christmas morn, and the house above the coast guards was the house where I was born.
Oh, well, I saw the pleasant room, the pleasant faces there. My mother's silver spectacles, my father's silver hair. And well, I saw the firelights like a flight of homely elves go dancing round the china plates that stand upon the shelves.
and well I knew the talk they had, the talk that was of me, with the shadow on the household and the son that went to sea. And oh, the wicked fool I seemed in every kind of way,
To be here in rolling frozen robes on blessed Christmas Day.
They lit the high sea light and the dark began to fall. All hands to loose topgallant sails, I heard the captain call. By Lord, you'll never stand it, our first mate Jackson cried.
It's one way or the other, Mr. Jackson, he replied. She staggered to her bearings, but the sails were new and good, and the ship smelt up to windward just as though she understood. As the winter's day was ending in the entry of the night, we cleared the weary headland and passed below the light, and they heaved a mighty breath, every soul on board but me, as they saw her nose again, pointing handsome out to sea. But all that I could think of in the darkness and the cold was just that I was leaving home, and my folks were growing old.
My Jolly Sailor Bold, 1690s.
Upon one summer's morning, I carefully did stray down by the walls of Wapping, where I met a sailor gay, conversing with a young lass who seemed to be in pain, saying, "William, when you go, I fear you'll ne'er return again. My heart is pierced like you meant, my disdain won't let her remove. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor boy."
Some sailors apparently believed in mermaids, obviously. But this apparently song is really a mermaid or siren song, as sailors claim mermaids would sing this to lure them away to the rocks so they could shipwreck them. And they would sing for their lost love, which is their jolly sailor bold.
His hair reins and ringlets, his eyes as black as coal. My happiness attend him wherever he may go. From Tower Hill to Blackpool, I'll wander, weep and moan, all for my jolly sailor, until he sails home. My heart is pierced by cupid, I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me, and my jolly sailor boy. My name is Maria, a merchant's daughter fair, and I have left my parents and 3,000 pounds a year. Come all you pretty fair maids, whoever you may be, love the jolly sailor that loves the raging sea. What a long and storm from me his absence born, and firmly by the days nevermore to roam. My heart is pierced by cupid, I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me, and my jolly sailor boy. My heart is pierced by cupid, I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me, but my jolly sailor boy.
Whoa. That's creepy and eerie, honestly. All right, so next is I put in my book characters' theme songs that would apply to a film series. So I'll read the facts to those as well. We're still in the Age of Sail. Yes, all songs take place from 1678 to 1710. After this, we will resume at year 1710. Rita Hagen's song, The Willow Maid, sung in the tavern in 1678 in Norway.
A young man walked through the forest with his quiver and hunting bow. He heard a young girl singing and followed the sound below. There he found the maiden who lives in the willow. He called to her as she listened from a ring of toadstools red. Come with me, my maiden, come from my willow bed. She looked at him serenely and only shook her head. See me now, oh ray of light in the moon dance. See me now, I cannot leave this place. Hear me now, a strain of song in the forest. Don't ask me to follow where you lead. A young man walked through the forest.
Others facts. Should I read them? Rita learned how to play the lute from her mother when she was just a child in Norway. Her mother was a Norwegian tavern dancer, singer, and lute player, and she taught Brita her musical vocations. Brita was naturally gifted with the angelic singing voice from her mom. The lute Brita carries was a gift from her dead father to Brita's mother, then passed down to her. Every time she carries it is a symbol that her father is always with her.
With a flowering coat of green, his love had hair like fire, her eyes an emerald sheen. She wrapped herself in beauty, so young and so serene. He stood there under the willow, and he gave her the yellow bloom. Girl, my heart you've captured, oh, I would be your groom. She said she'd wed him never, not near nor far nor soon. See me now, oh ray of light in the moon dance. See me now, I cannot leave this place. Hear me now, a strain of song in the forest. Don't ask me to follow where you lead. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. A young man walked through the forest with an axe sharp as a knife. I'll take the green eyed fairy, and she shall be my wife. With her I'll raise my children, with her I'll live my life. The maiden wept when she heard him, when he said it set her free. He took his axe and used it to bring down her ancient tree. Now
Henry Hartstone's theme, The Dornishman's Wife, sung on the beach, Madagascar, 1679.
The Dornishman's wife was as fair as the sun, and her kisses were warmer than spring. But the Dornishman's blade.
So, what you're listening to right now is actually potentially what Henry Hartstone's voice actor might be.
Was made of black steel, and its kiss was a terrible thing. The Dornishman's wife would sing as she bathed, in a voice that was sweet as a peach. But the Dornishman's blade had a song of its own, and it bite sharp and cold as a knife. As he lay on the ground with the darkness around.
Sorry, there's facts. I'm sorry. Henry met Daniel when he was 18 years old, fist fighting a priest in a tavern called the Red Barrel in Whitechapel, England. Daniel was drunk, and Henry saved him from a life of jail and prison. Henry firstly hated Daniel for his behavior and how he conducted himself. But soon Daniel taught Henry how to defend himself with a musket and sword and became a role model for him that he never had. Now they are best friends. And now they become best friends. Another fact about Henry is his preferred weapon is an English longbow, in which he used to perform in archery contests back in London when he was 12 years old.
And the taste of his blood on his tongue. His brothers knelt by him and prayed him a prayer. And he smiled, and he laughed, and he sung. Brothers, oh brothers, my days here are done. Adorishment is taking my life. What does it matter? All men must die, and I've tasted adorishment the wine. La 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 la
Timothy McGaw's theme, 1690. Timothy grew up on a farm and was a farmhand with his family where they grew crops like wheat, pumpkins, cabbage, or potatoes. He never saw the sea till he was 15. Marquis de Lafayette's theme song, played with his wife, 1665.
De pas grand-chose, elle passe en un instant comme fanent les roses. On me dit que le temps qui glisse est un salaud, que de nos chagrins il s'en fait des manteaux. Pourtant quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. Serait-ce possible alors? On dit que le destin se moque bien de nous, qu'il ne nous donne rien et qu'il nous promet tout. Paraît que le bonheur est à portée de main.
Marquis spent from 1665 to 1675, 10 years inside the House of Versailles, the home of the King Louis XIV, with his wife. His ship is named after his wife, Antoinette de Lafayette, because his wife always wore golden bow French corsets, and he looked marvelous on her.
On tend la main et on se retrouve fou. Pourtant quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. Serait-ce possible alors? Serait-ce possible alors? Mais qui est-ce qui m'a dit que toujours tu m'aimais? Je ne me souviens plus, c'était tard dans la nuit. J'entends encore la voix, mais je ne vois plus les traits. Il vous aime, c'est secret, lui dites pas que je vous l'ai dit. Tu vois, quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimes.
Oh yeah, Marquis' death song, 1694.
Is to see that nothing is as it seems. She'll show her true face when you're stripped of all belief. Sweet tyrant, laying out the course with what you need to send you through the veils of eternity.
Marquis dies by being beheaded by Blackbeard's crew.
Crack me open or I'll go down on this sinking ship. Don't leave me to drown. Still the water.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put rest in peace, Marquis de Lafayette, 1643 to 1694.
There's the sound of my eternal plea, and all I found, and all I will.
Sleep, bonny pirate laddie, while the waves they roll. Sleep, bonny
Expos theme 1688.
pirate laddie, ocean breezes blow. Feel the ship rock to and fro, hear wind through rigging sigh. A gentle ocean sounds below, a pirate lullaby. Storms rise upon the seas as clouds darken up high. See the sails begin to stretch as winds fall from the skies. Waves roll and toss the ship roughly from side to side. Tasteless.
Fenn originally led a life of crime, stealing from people back in England and was thrown in jail many times. Even escaping after leaving the family bookstore, he was an outlaw until he left England. He may seem innocent, but underneath that charm and wit is a clever devil.
Put upon your lips from the fury of the tide. Grab the hatches, batten down, as waves they crest the bow. Mainsail first, secure the deck, else every man might drown. Drop the anchor, ride the storm, and pray with all your might. Feel thunderclap and racing heart as you struggle for your life. Sleep.
Eleanor Beers theme 1687, Egypt. Before she was sold into a life of slavery, making her way across the Arabian desert to Marquis' ship in Persia, Eleanor was a medicine woman and witch doctor in Egypt for a tribe and family, helping the poor people in need. Daniel Arnsworth theme 1700.
From the midnight forgotten island, there's a cabin by the lookout cliff in the sleepy little town where the slaps.
What you're listening to is Daniel singing his tale before meeting Henry. Listen to the lyrics It tells the story of Daniel's past sea voyages.
In the orchard, and the small ones run around. His soulmate sings a love song from a distant country. In the harbor Chambordella, with a cat who I was raised. This was many years ago, and a long way from this place. But to rise up from the gardens, there's a price you have to pay. Tell me, was it real when you listened to my tale? I have fallen through the gallows, I've done the policeman's rope, got stuck in the windward shallows with a tackle and a rope. Made an orphan of a keelson, and I stared her deadly down, even better with a stern gun.
Before meeting Henry, Daniel owned his father's blacksmith shop, hammering out fleshplate swords and armor and clattering iron on anvils before people to buy. That's why he's such a big man, due to all the hammers springing on iron anvil for years.
And I danced her on the brow. I walked fire down to Bristol, people going like a net. And I swung me across the boarding axe to the lady that's red red. And I swung shaded occupants on pestilential dead. Sold out with loyal shipmates to save the stormy head. In the sunken arm of riders, and I watched a crewman round. And I shot the major ransom in the vacuum Kingston town. He signed the sheet of paper to put my reverend down. They stole away the names to put a redneck signal down.
Jebediah Golden Rivers theme, 1694.
Home for a brave and a gallant ship, and a fast and maven breeze. With the pulling good crew and a captain too, to carry me over the seas. To carry me over the seas, boys, to my true love far away. I'm taking a trip on a government ship 10,000 miles away. So blow your wings and blow, and over I will go. I'll stay no more on this old shore to hear the fiddle and play. I'm off without a maid, and I won't be back again. I'm taking a trip on a government ship 10,000.
Jeb was born in Finland and was raised till he was 14 there. His father led an embassy out of India and took his son on expeditions to these places to show him how to make a living. Jeb killed his own father at 23, took his father's ship, the Dauntless, as his, and made himself a pirate life.
Well, my old true love was beautiful. My old true love was young. She had diamonds in her eyes, my friends, and silvery was her tongue. Silvery was her tongue, oh yes, and she thinks she'd left today. There was a ship, big enough to be only 10,000 miles away. So blow your wings and blow, wherever I would go. I'll stay no more on this old shore to hear the fiddle and play. I'm off around in May, and I won't be back again. I'm taking a trip on a government ship 10,000 miles away. It's been at least 100 days since I last saw me play. She had a government band around one hand and another one around her leg. Another one around her leg, big boys and a big ship left to pay. That's more than I'd be 10,000 miles away. So blow your wings.
Fernando Cortez's theme, 1680s. Cortez was a Spanish lawyer in Cuba for the civil rights and matters during the Dutch and English War. Ka's theme, 1686. was captured and sold into slavery at age 12 and was a royal bloodline in the tribe, son of the chieftain. Alamande George Bohem, 1710, an F minor. Pasquili George Frederick Handel, 1720, harpsichord suite in G minor classical music. So now, guys, we are through with the Age of Sail, sadly, and now we are entering the classical period of the 18th century. So it's like Bach and Mozart. Praedalunium, Johann Sebastian Bach, 1722, the well-tempered Cavalier classical piano. Bach Cello Suite No. 1 in G major, 1730, classical cello music, the famous Johann Sebastian Bach song. Gorgeous. That's absolutely spectacular. It's one of my favorite classical songs. Sonata in D minor, Domenico Scarlatti, 1738, in D minor classical piano. Allegro con spirito, Johann Heinrich Roman, 1744. It's a symphony. Allegro Caro Sexies, 1750, Sonata in Sol minor. Ballo, Sinfonia Christoph Windewald Gluck, 1764. Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, 1766, piano. Revolutionary War Yankee Doodle Tune, 1776. We made it. This is the last one. You all know this one. Rondo alla Turca, which is Turkish March, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, 1783, piano sonata in A major, number 11, Rococo romantic music. All right. That was it. So we did it. Ooh. I know sometimes it could be a lot sitting here for an hour and listening to just multiple songs, but it's the experience, man. It's the experience. So I hope you guys like the stream. Of course, at the end of these streams, I'll ask you a question. So do I. Good music. Yes, it's pretty good, yummy tunes. So I think so we went through in part 2 we went through the Baroque, the Age of Sail, Pirate era, and the Classical period. So out of those 3 eras we went through in this part, what was your favorite? Let's see what the chat says. The Pirate, so Age of Sail era, so that would be early 1700s. Yes. Yeah, it was my favorite too. The Age of Sail was pretty cool. So yeah, that is the end of this stream. So tomorrow night I will be streaming part 3 of the evolution of music. Tuesday will be part 4, and then after that we will go back to the regular 1 stream a night every week for Saturday night. So yeah, we will be tackling the Romantic era and more modern music in part 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys for part 3 tomorrow night. And thank you for joining as always. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm very tired. So I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you for joining. I always like the support, even though only my girlfriend has joined the stream. Hopefully more people will. But it's a good time to sit back and relax and listen to music. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. So thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one, my little jack-o'-lanterns.